Hey guys, so today I'm gonna be looking at true scary stories. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. A few years back, I lived with my mother and German Shepherd in a 2-bedroom rented townhome. I got home from work one day and went about my daily routine. When it came time to eat dinner, I knocked on my mum's door to come and eat. I smelled cigarette smoke and heard her grunt a response. So I went back down and ate alone. I figured I would just put a plate away for her. Fast forward to about 2 a.m. I am awoken by someone holding my hand and gently shaking it. I immediately shoot straight up and look around. My dog, who is overly protective, sleeps with me every night, isn't in bed. She isn't even in the room. She most definitely was on my bed when I went to sleep. I sleep with the bedroom door shut and locked. She is scratching at my closed and locked bedroom door from the hallway. Frantic, I bolt for the door, let her in, and she is searching the whole room. I'm now yelling for my mother, no answer. I force my dog to walk down the hallway with me. I still smell cigarette smoke. I bang on my mum's door, no answer, so I just open it. She isn't even home. The bed is made and her TV is off. My dog and I search the whole entire house. Nothing is out of place. All the doors and windows are still locked. I was freaked out to say the least. The next day, I called my mum and she told me she left early the day before to go visit my sick grandfather. Whoa! So who shook their hand? They felt someone holding their hand and shaking it. Oh my gosh, that's so creepy because... Oh my god, I don't know what happened. They said the dog was supposed to be inside, but the dog was outside. I feel like there was something because a dog doesn't just randomly search, okay? A dog searches when they think there's like an intruder. So yeah, because that's what my dog does as well. Like whenever she hears someone outside, she'll start barking and then she'll like sniff every room to find the person outside or something. I don't know. I honestly don't know if that's a reason why, but I like to believe that's a reason why. What if they were just tired and they just forgot to let the dog in and the dog was just sad and the dog was just like, why? What did I do today? Why aren't you letting me in? Wait, but then they also heard their mum grunt a response. So what was that? These kind of stories are the creepiest stories when they think someone's home but no one was home, you know? That's so scary. Thank gosh for the dog though. Thank gosh they still had a dog. They forced the dog to walk down with them. They're like, you better come with me, okay? You better protect me. My friend asked me if I would go to her house after work and feed her dog as she will not be home until 3 a.m. or so. She worked in a bar. I arrived at her house at 8:30 p.m. and got the key she had left under the mat to unlock the door. Once I unlocked the door, I turned off the alarm and put the key in a white bowl by the door. I am 100% sure I put the key in the bowl. I fed the dog and played with him for a little while, then went to lock up the house again and leave, but the key was gone. Just then, the dog started furiously barking and ran full speed out of the kitchen and up the stairs. He just sat there growling at nothing. Oh, that means there's something. The feeling that came over me at that time was so strange. I randomly burst out crying and couldn't stop. Eventually, I calmed down, put the dog back into the kitchen and looked for the key. It was literally nowhere. I ended up finding another key that worked, so I just locked the house and left. I told my friend and she looked daily for about a week. Then one day, the key was back in the white bowl. This ghost is playing games. Seriously though, when things like this happen to me, like I'm sure I put it there, but then it's not there anymore, you know? And I'm like, but I'm sure it was there. And then I would just search for it, but then I can't ever find it. But then like a week later, when I'm not looking for it, I suddenly see it was on my table. And I'm like, there's no way I couldn't have seen that, you know? Don't you guys ever get that feeling? Like you don't even know if it's you or if it's someone playing games with you, you know? I used to have a penchant for wandering around abandoned buildings when I was in high school. One time, a friend and I decided it would be a good idea to explore a farmstead that hadn't been in use for years. The whole experience was really bizarre. Why would you explore abandoned places? That's like the worst. Okay. The farmstead was accessible by a long gravel road that brought you to a cluster of how do you say that word? Dilapidated buildings around a central barn. We parked at the end of the gravel road near the turnoff to the main road so we could walk the property and just pull out quickly later. We went into the barn first and there were deer bones arranged in a circle around the skull and a bunch of blankets and wood stacked in a corner of the room. I would nope it out of there. I would be like, nah, I'm out. Ooh, this is why you don't go to abandoned places, okay? I feel like that's so dangerous already because no one's around, so even if you need help, no one's gonna help you because there's no one, because it's abandoned, okay? Halfway down the gravel road, we heard crunching, heavy footsteps, and someone screeching behind us! Blood-curdling screeching. We sprinted back to my car and tried to peel out of there as fast as possible, but it snowed the night prior and my back tire was stuck in a puddle of melted snow. My friend was screaming because she was so freaked out, but wouldn't turn to look at the path behind us. By the time I had got in the car and stuck, she turned around to see if there was someone following us, and there was no one there. Oh, this just makes me think. You know how we've talked about how like mountain lions and like foxes, when they scream, it sounds like a woman screaming. Like it sounds like a woman's in pain and she's screaming for help. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe it was a mountain lion or a fox. But there were heavy footsteps and crunching. And I doubt a mountain lion would make heavy footsteps because, you know, they're so gentle with their paws, I think. I don't know. But I'm just thinking if it were like heavy footsteps, it would be a person, you know. Why would they do this in the first place though? That is so scary. Whew. Man, I mean, like, I like scary things, but I wouldn't do anything to put myself at risk for something. You know, like they're out at night doing this. That's so scary. This one is kind of creepy, but also kind of comforting. This story was told to me by my grandmother, who is a no-nonsense cat abroad, so I believe every word of it. My grandma had a neighbor/friend who unfortunately lost her husband when she was young, about 40 or so years ago. It was a sudden death, cardiac arrest, or something like that. So this woman was so upset because for a couple of years after his death, she couldn't dream of her husband. For some reason, it really bothered her that she couldn't experience a dream with him in it. It's almost like she wanted it for the comfort. Anyway, some time passes and this woman is preparing to sell her house and move closer to her kids. They lived a state over. Suddenly she gets her wish. She starts dreaming and her husband is in them. She has multiple of these dreams, and in every one, her husband wakes her up, sits down on the bed and starts speaking to her. However, his speech horrifies her. It was described to me as backwards or garbled. A few days before she's about to move for good, she goes to bed and dreams of him again. The dream is the same, except she understands one word he says. He grabs her in the dream and repeatedly says rafters. Among seemingly panicked, she wakes up rattled but returns to sleep. The next day, as she's finishing up packing in the basement, she looks up and sees the rafters. She remembers the dream and is compelled to reach into them. She does and pulls out thousands of dollars worth of World War II bonds her husband had purchased without her knowledge. She swears he never told her about them, so he appeared in her dream to tell her so she wouldn't leave all those bonds behind when she sold the house. Whoa! I'm just finding this a bit funny because, like, he didn't visit her in her dream at all, you know, until she was about to leave the money behind, and he was like, oh no, girl, no. So, like, what happened? He didn't visit her in her dream at all until this happened. Wow, that's pretty cool though. Wow. He grabs her in the dream and says rafters. Woman, rafters. I can't believe that's the only reason why he appeared in her dream though. When I was 5, the tooth fairy came and left me a quarter for my tooth. She also left me this beautiful, intricately carved wooden pencil box. In the morning, my parents both asked me where I got it. I told them the tooth fairy brought it. Almost 30 years later, my parents still swear up and down it wasn't them. They've confessed tons of other things they did, so I believe them when they say it wasn't them. I would like to know where that thing came from and who put it there. Oh, so they just assumed it was a tooth fairy? Because they don't know, right? They don't know who it was. Oh, I never believed this, honestly. I've never believed in a tooth fairy. Well, that's probably because I never got anything from it. I think I have put my tooth under my pillow before, but the next day nothing happened. And I don't even think my parents know about the tooth fairy, you know? So they didn't even know. But I was just hoping something would happen, but then I realized when I got nothing, It was all a lie. A few years ago, I was trying to get a hold of my parents for something. Can't remember what. Neither of them answered the cell phone, so I called their home phone. The line picked up and it sounded like someone was talking, but it was very distorted. After about 10 seconds, the line disconnected. That was at 9 p.m. My parents called me back at around 10:30 p.m. They had been out at a movie, which had started at 8:30. They live alone. I mean, I guess it could be like a robber, right? Oh, I hate stories that involve like phone calls kind of thing, because as a kid I remember being so scared of this kind of stuff. I was in a major car accident over a decade ago. My car was hit by another car in such a way where I lost control of the car. The car somehow went on a full circle on the highway. I T-boned a Jersey wall, completely destroying it and cracking the next two in line, and I bounced off that onto an off ramp with my side of the car facing traffic. That sounds so crazy. I am about to exhale when I hear, "Hey kid, when I start counting, you have 8 seconds to move your car or you're going to be hit by an 18-wheeler. Do you understand?" 8, 7, 6. Voice didn't have to tell me twice. I threw my car into drive and got onto the shoulder. At 1, an 18-wheeler drove by the spot my car was parked on. I should have died, according to the cops surveying the crash site later, but I walked away with a few bruises and I needed a root canal a few days later. I probably imagined the voice, but I'm believing it was something otherworldly. Whoa, something saved them. Oh, and when people say when they're close to a near-death accident, their life flashes before their eyes kind of thing. That's crazy. Walking home for us at night with a friend at like 2 a.m. Don't even ask. We were about 14. They went out at 2 a.m. at 14 years old. Oh my gosh. Wow. We were having a good time talking. What? They were 14. They were having a good time at 2 a.m. Wow. When out of nowhere, our friend shows up and starts talking to us. Our friend started chatting with us and I felt a really strong sense of euphoria. I'm so bad at pronouncing words. This friend knew both of our names and things that he shouldn't have, like exact details of inside my room and things that happened to me before I moved into the country. Then he was just gone and we both collapsed, physically exhausted. Oh. It was then that we realized that we had never met this friend, and we were still 10 kilometers from town and another 2 kilometers from our campsite. We just lay there for so long recovering. I never actually properly saw my friend. I kind of just knew he was with us, and I can't recall his voice either. All I remember is him asking to take us to his house, just turn left. My real friend luckily had the sense to not let me go. That left turn led to this unfenced lookout with like a 5-meter drop to rocks. Don't even want to think about what would have happened if I had listened. What kind of friend is that? What kind of imaginary friend is that? This is like the first time I've heard about an imaginary friend trying to harm someone. You know, because most of the times when I read stories about imaginary friends, they'll be nice, or like they'll be like friends with them and they'll be like playing with them. Well, I don't know if this is like an imaginary friend because they said they don't know them. I'm confused. Or it might have been just their minds, you know. Because how would someone know the exact details of inside their room? Maybe they were just hallucinating because it was 2 a.m. and when you don't get enough sleep, that stuff happens. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!